Hello, my name is Dominique Hurley, an intuitive visionary artist and light worker, and welcome to Lesson 5 in my Reconnect to Your True Self series. This is a series of personal spiritual growth exercises inspired by 9 months of co-creating a painting collection called the Reconnecting Collection. And this blog post, or this video, has been inspired by the creation of the perfect unfolding, the painting that you see here. For all of these exercises, you can go to my free resources on my website to see the original evolution of the painting itself. And now in these blog posts, more of an exercise on how to take the lessons that I learned for me and now offering them up for you. And so in this one that I call, "Here's Mud in Your Eye," I don't know if you've heard that expression before, but it's one that's used to say like cheers when you're making a toast, usually with alcohol, but hey, it can be anything you want. What it means is, although it sounds bad, here's mud in your eye, it's actually something positive. It means here's to your health. And the origin of it, from my brief Google search on it, is that when Jesus took dirt and added water to it to make mud and put it in the blind man's eyes, helping him heal his sight. And so that is what I'm hoping to achieve with you, or helping you to achieve for yourself, is really the truth of it all, is opening yourself up to have a healed vision of yourself. Because like the lotus in this painting, like the lotus, its seed was planted, or was basically seeded in the mud, and the lotus grows through that mud. It's necessary for its birthing, it's necessary for its growth. And as it emerges past the mud, it has a self-cleansing type of mechanism, so that when it finally emerges above the water and blossoms and opens, it's actually mud-free. The way that its leaves are this waxy thing that's on its coating that's on its leaves, the water just beads off and it opens pure, clean, and ready to receive the light. As humans, however, what we often do is we cling to the mud, and the mud is often something on the outside, things that people say to us, things that we hear, things that we see, our own personal judgments, which are sometimes echoes of the voices of our teachers or parents or friends. And we allow that mud to cake on us, like this hard surface that stops us from growing. And as this mud cakes, it also blinds us to the truth of our own beauty. We take on other people's perceptions, which are just reflections of their own fears, their own judgments, things that they've heard, or society's perception of what is perfect, in terms of body self-image, in terms of what's normal sexually, in terms of just life itself. And so instead of growing and emerging and letting all that go, we cling on to it. And our bodies are a great mechanism, a great mirror, a great canvas to help us actually see what are the beliefs, the limiting beliefs and perceptions that we've adopted through life. Those beliefs that stop us from seeing our own truth, our own beauty. So this exercise is a lot for body image, but much deeper than that. So here's the exercise. The first one is about getting rid of that built up dirt. And as I was painting and making the dots and layers by layers, because it takes about 80 hours to work on one of these paintings, all these memories were coming up, part of my sexual evolution, but also just things that I'd heard about myself, a body image, and things that I'd taken on, things that I thought I'd completely forgotten about. A lot of things came bubbling up to the surface that really surprised me. And one way that you can help this, because things need to be seen as they are released. And so it's not about like, oh my God, this is still there, and then holding on to it even stronger. It's about seeing what's being shown to you as it's being let go of, or integrated in a more healthy way. So the first thing you're going to do is really like give yourself a dedicated amount of time to do this, and spend time with each body part as you're going from your feet. I recommend starting with your feet because it's a lot easier than going with your face, your head, which is sometimes harder because you see yourself in the mirror and you have maybe a lot more baggage to deal with there. So start with what's easier. In my blog post, the written part, I started with the feet, and I gave you an example there, and it was like incredible how much actually came up with that. What you're going to do is focus on a body part from feet all the way to head, and just listen to it and say, first of all, acknowledge it for being the vessel of your spirit, and then ask it, what are you holding on to that is time for me to see, to release, to integrate? And just listen. I mean, just looking at my face, since that's what's in the video here, like I see a scar here from when I was in high school, and this big heavy fire door came slamming in my face because I was too busy looking at this cute guy that I had a crush on. And well, all of the embarrassment and feeling just like, the feelings that brought, and the self-perception that brought of feeling like, oh my God, I'm so stupid, it's embarrassing. Or just looking at my face too is like, oh yes, in the last couple of years with menopause, I'm starting to grow a beard, and it's getting really thicker, and the mustache, and all the things that, you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, it's like maybe I should get some plastic surgery on this mole, and just different parts of yourself that you have different voices. Things might remind you of memories, like I said, with a scar, or perceptions of, in this society, it's not right for a woman to have a beard, and we got to pluck it or do something with it. In terms of my nose, I mean, I had kids with my nose, my profile with my curly nose and curly chin, compare me to a witch, and I took that on. Negative things that you've heard from people, just go through your entire body. I mean, thinking of my hips, I remember in elementary school, children laughing that I had double hips because I had such big hips compared to the rest of my body. And a physiotherapist when I was in high school, and I injured my knee, and I was sitting in my underwear on the table at the hospital, and she walked in and said, you're not going to have trouble having kids. It's like those things, you take on, and they stay with you. And you get conscious about those things, or you try to camouflage or hide them, and you start taking on a negative body self-image. And sometimes that image, just like what I was talking about with menopause, my energies become lower, and I'm still eating the way I might used to. I might be a health food nut, but I'm also a chipaholic, and it's like, well, maybe I got to change some things. Or maybe I just have to accept, like 2 years ago, I was taking naps in the middle of the day for the first time in my life because I needed it. My body was asking me for it. And so I thought, with the work ethic and everything, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm taking naps. That means, things, what does it mean to you? So I don't want to unload all my stuff on you here. Just allow it to come up. And as you go through every body part, remembering things that people have said to you, remembering just, even like the criticisms and the judgments and the advice about, sit with a straight posture. And what does it mean if you don't have that? What does it mean to you? Don't necessarily look at all of that and go deep into each one. Just jot down on little strips of paper everything that comes up for you. Strips of paper or a page of paper. Jot down all these things about your face, about your hair, about your head. Like that could be 3 different things. Just listen, spend time actively observing and listening your inner dialogue and the memories that come up, and what your body, once you've asked it to show you, starts showing you. After you've written all that down, burn it, either in an outdoor fire or in a small cauldron, a small pot. Once you've burned it, then as you're watching it burn, it's not about rejecting your past. It's seeing that this mud was necessary for you to become who you are. As it's burning, acknowledge how all of this has made you stronger, more compassionate for others. Things that may have appeared as challenges could actually be a gift, so that you have actually been able to use what you've learned through the process of healing your abuse or other things to help others in that similar situation. And so as it's burning, acknowledge how the mud has been transformed, how all these challenges have been transformed to be something beautiful. You, who you are today, perfect in your imperfections. I mean, one of the strong, oh, that's part 2, so I won't go there yet. After you've burned it and you've got your ashes, and vary this ceremony in any way that feels right for you. But something that could be interesting is rubbing yourself with these ashes on your face. You can make loving messages on yourself. You could do like war paint, whatever you feel inspired to. Rub yourself with these ashes and look at yourself in the mirror and, in terms of, wow, this is how it is to carry this, both what you think of as bad or good, knowing that both of those are just judgments, right? All of it just is. And once you've looked at yourself in these ashes, take a shower and just allow the sacred water elements to cleanse you. Watch those ashes being drained. I mean, every time you take a shower, this is a lovely ceremony to do, is releasing anything that doesn't serve you from the day or the days before. Watch it just disappearing into the drain and leaving you cleansed and more able to see the truth of what really happened, of who you truly are, no matter if it's an event or opinions, knowing that, your body is a mirror of what's going on. So that is step 1. Exercise 2 for this lesson is about doing what I'm doing here, looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing yourself through the eyes of your soul. Gaze deeply into your eyes until you can really feel like saying, I see you. Now it could be your higher self talking to you, or you talking to your higher self, knowing that you're all part of the same oneness. And of course, if little voices say, yeah, right, look, I forgot this hair, I gotta pluck that, whatever comes up, just acknowledge it, smile, and talk to yourself through the eyes of love, through the voice of love, the most loving voice you've ever heard and connected to in your life. Observe yourself in the mirror and love yourself. Stroke yourself and say, wow, acknowledge the beauty and the uniqueness of you. Those scars, those moles, those hairs, those accidents, what's happening on the inside, it's like not just the outer skin of you, but your organs and also the events in your life. And listening by actively loving yourself and then listening to what your body has to say. It might ask you for what it needs. I know that when I have eczema or a pimple or stuff, it's reacting to my diet, and it's like reminding me that, what's healthy for me, what's not. How you can emerge more fully as who you are meant to be next, as in fully continuing to blossom and emerge from the water, so that you can emerge as your full self. It's about remembering that gold, that pure golden light that you were in the beginning and have always been, but that you couldn't see because it was caked up under all that dirt. So exercise number 2 is about loving yourself, accepting your vessel, knowing that you chose it before you came into this world, if that's in your belief system, to bring you into the experiences that you're going to have to help you achieve what you wanted to achieve in this lifetime, your purpose. And it's also about listening to what you need, listening to how you can fully emerge by standing tall in your effervescent self, about celebrating who you are, not hiding yourself anymore. Have fun with this. Try decorating your vessel in different ways, dressing in a way that you've always wanted to try but didn't think you could with those hips or whatever. Don't worry about what other people are thinking. They're just reflecting the media and their own fears. take this time to discover who you truly are by listening and playing and loving yourself in body, mind, and spirit. Here's mud in your eye. May you have clear vision, healed sight to see yourself, because the more you love and accept and be who you truly are, the more you can love, see, accept others for who they truly are. And what a blessing that is. Namaste.